All right, so we have a ton of Cyberpunk news to go over today, including the fact that CD Projekt RED is at it again. They have been very busy updating their job listing page, and it's for one game in particular that we're looking at here, and that is Cyberpunk 2077. They are really doubling down on looking for new talent for this game. We're going to be talking about that here in the future and what that means for the future of this franchise. Plus, we're going to take a look at this. It says CD Projekt RED could be working on a computer RPG, a brand new game here. But as we dive into this story here, it looks like we're going to be talking about Cyberpunk yet again. And then also we're going to be talking about the two big expansions coming up here. We have some theories as to what to expect from these two expansions based on previous evidence in the actual game. So some interesting stuff there. So let's dive in right now. Hey everyone, what's happening? Open World Games here. Hope you're doing good and welcome back to Night City. My motorcycle is on fire. So first of all, let's go ahead and dive into this one right here. It says CD Projekt RED could be working on this computer RPG. Now it says CD Projekt RED is looking for an open world designer, and we're gonna go straight into the actual source here. So yes, they have posted this open world designer junior specialist, and the job description is as follows. It says CD Projekt RED is looking for an open world designer to join our ProCal team. We're looking for candidates with boundless creativity to fill our game world with believable and exciting content consisting of communities and events that players will encounter. Now, the rumor suggests that this was for perhaps a brand new game by CD Projekt RED, but as we dive into the official CD Projekt RED website and their job listings right here, we can further scroll down. Let's zoom in here so you guys can see it. But we can scroll down here and we will eventually see open world designer junior specialist, and guess what game that's for? Cyberpunk 2077. So it doesn't appear that it's for a brand new game, that instead they are going to be hiring for Cyberpunk 2077 to create open world content, which is really cool. But if we go back to the job listing, this is actually really exciting. We have a ton of brand new positions here. For art, we have cinematic animator, environmental level artist, gameplay animator, level artist, senior character artist right here, and concept artist. We're talking about people that would be conceptualizing new content. So I would think that this would be referring to, of course, the big expansions coming up. But man, they are really looking to expand the team big time here for Cyberpunk specifically, in several different locations. Then we have design and creation. We have English adaptation, specialist, gameplay designer, junior specialist, quest designer. We have tons of level designers here, and the open world designer, which is really, really interesting. And then we have Previs artist as well, senior cinematic designer. Now these two would work together because this is dedicated to creating new cinematics, entire movie quality cinematics that they would be working on, which indicates that they would probably want to create perhaps also something for marketing. I don't know if that could also be another theory, that they would want like a really nice cinematic trailer for an upcoming expansion or something like that. But yeah, they're also doing stuff with writing, creating a brand new story for us, it appears, and then a UX designer to really flesh out the UI even more. Then we have the engine programmer. That's going to be stuff dedicated to fine-tuning the parallel development between two AAA titles. Is something that they want to do and pull off in 2022 and beyond, pretty much permanently. So that's what you're going to be seeing there with anything related to the engine and then game programming, stuff like that. Now production, we have producer, scrum master, senior gameplay animator, senior technical animator right here. But here's this is great to see. We have QA, which has doubled up on Cyberpunk. It used to be only like one position, but my god, they are going all in on quality assurance, it seems like, in the future for Cyberpunk 2077. I think they realize that they've learned quite a bit from the launch of Cyberpunk, so it's good to see that they are really doubling down on the QA stuff for the future of this game, and I hope, honestly, it's a franchise. Now, we have game programmer, and then a bunch of other stuff as well, and then the UI programmer as well, so it seems like they're really wanting to do stuff with the UI 2. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the 2 expansions. Forbes recently published an interesting article. Here it is right here. It says, it seems clear what Cyberpunk 2 expansions should be. Sound off what you would actually like to see from the upcoming expansions in terms of characters, theme, and more as we crash on the bike. Man, we went flying there. But anyway, let's read into this. It says, Cyberpunk has all but confirmed it's making 2 substantial expansions for the game, with the first one due out sometime in 2022. Late 2022, if the current pace of content is anything to judge by. But they're committed to it, and fans are hoping for something on the level of The Witcher 3's huge Hearts of Stone and Blood and Wine DLC, which could turn the narrative of the game around. Wouldn't that be something? It would be nice to see this No Man's Sky style turnaround for sure. Now it says, having heard about these 2 expansions coming for a while, for me it seems like CD Projekt RED would be wise to focus on them on 2 characters in particular, perhaps one for each. I mean, you know, right? Panam and Judy. So would you guys like to see an expansion for Panam and then like an add-on for Judy, specifically focused around these 2 character story? Now, it's interesting because we're gonna dive in here on how it actually makes sense, considering there's been some things teased in Cyberpunk. It says, so my goal for CD Projekt RED is that whatever storyline they concoct for the expansion, I think they should bring back Judy for one expansion and Panam for the other. There have long been rumors about rogue AIs being focused on, being the focus of an upcoming expansion, given how much they've teased in their game, and it's pretty clear that the tech-savvy Judy could be integrated into that story, if not be an essential part of it. I think a rogue AI plotline, a bigger expansion into that would be so cool, because you would see potentially chaos throughout the city. That would be really, really cool to see. It could change up the entire landscape of the city for sure. I mean, you could get into like post-apocalyptic stuff if you really wanted to. Now it says, I could not care less about seeing Johnny Silverhand in any future DLC. Whoa. And it says, and Lord knows maybe they could save money on not having Keanu do more voice work. Rather, I want them to focus on NPCs they got right more than any other in the game. Give us our Judy and Panam expansions, please. Yeah, you know, I don't think, honestly, I would be surprised if they brought Johnny Silverhand back simply because of the cost, unless they have voice lines already recorded from Keanu that they can just use, you know. But to bring him back in the studio, I don't know, considering how the launch went. I'm doubtful about that. They're probably going to want to stick with their original characters. But anyway, we have this one right here as well. There's been some really cool mods. Let me tell you what released. Check this out. Alaskan Bullworm says, I recently learned how to mod the radio stations, and I gotta say, cruising around Night City hits different with the right music. Yeah, it would be cool to see licensed music in the game, but I have to say, you know, that's one thing that I was amazed that CD Projekt RED really focused on original music so that streamers could stream the game. They were like really focused on the right stuff, and I just thought, like, man, since they were focused on this stuff, this game's gonna be huge, they're gonna nail it, and it's gonna be freaking amazing. But you guys know how it turned out. But anyway, we have this article right here. Let me know if you agree with this one or not. I'm sure there's gonna be a group that actually might disagree with this, but Championship Nice 9211 says, Cyberpunk is a massive step down from The Witcher 3. Do you guys think that is true or not? A lot of people say that The Witcher 3 has more choice and consequence to it, and we've heard the developers actually argue that Cyberpunk has way more choice and consequences, that you just don't see it telegraphed in front of you all the time for some reason. Now, also, it seems like people are really enjoying the combat. We have Steve Haynes who says, after all the updates, combat feels genuinely smoother. Are you guys feeling that way about this one? Because I definitely am noticing that about the game after each update, is that things are just feeling better and better with the game for sure. And I'm really impressed that they got to the reflective surfaces so quickly and actually made it into a kind of upgrade with the graphics in terms of that. So that was really, really cool. All right, so now it is time to go over your top comments from my previous Cyberpunk video. So let's do this. Remember, post a comment down below. It could end up in a future video. So let's dive in here. My previous video was called I Was Not Expecting This Headline Today. This should be interesting. And the video was basically about Forbes posted an article comparing GTA 5 versus Cyberpunk and saying that Cyberpunk is the better game, which I'm sure ruffled some feathers there. So let's see what you guys had to say about this one. So Adam goes on to say this: the world is definitely better in Cyberpunk as far as detail and how good it looks, but there definitely needs to be more to do. Yeah, 100% agree with you, hands down. I think a lot of people would agree with you. DJP says, I hope CD Projekt RED keeps investing into and expanding Cyberpunk. It has so much potential. If they just finish the game and add all the missing elements, I hope they add the train that was in the trailer and also add the ability to buy properties and open up the spaceport and the ability to travel to the moon. Man, that'd be so cool, having like a sub-open world that you could kind of explore on the moon. Now, Matt Hunter 565 says, if CD Projekt RED actually develops Night City to the point where most buildings are actually accessible in some way, then maybe it's going to become a more deeper game. Yeah, and if they do that, have a purpose to exploring these buildings, you know, I'd love to see the ability to go in and take over the buildings, run businesses, that sort of thing. That's like an entirely different game, of course, but it's been done before in open world games, you know, with less of a budget 10 years ago, so I think it should be doable. Position Design says this: I think it would be cool to bring Jackie Wells back as a construct, much like Johnny Silverhand, but instead of having a jerk in your head trying to take over, one could kill off evil Keanu and have a helpful character on a chip in your head. That would actually be pretty cool. I would like to see them potentially do something with Jackie Wells in the future, but who knows? It just seems like so many people, I myself included, super disappointed that they killed him off so quickly. Now we have Cyberpunk Complex, who says, I prefer Cyberpunk, but there's no contest when GTA runs seamlessly on all systems it's on. That's true. It's been around forever, my god. Luaza says, Cyberpunk cars are also badass. Sadly, they cannot be customized. I hope that changes in the future. And V's first apartment. Yeah, man, you know, I was expecting full-blown customization. I remember finding out, you know, before the game released that there wasn't any customization. I just assumed that there would be, considering this game had been in development for like freaking over a decade. Well, actually, according to the developers, 5 years or something like that. It was conceptualized for, you know, a total of like 5 years and then actually developed. But anyway, that's besides the point. But I was expecting, you know, those cars to be customizable and stuff. So maybe, just maybe, they can do that in the future. I think it would be cool if they really focused on big car expansions or medium-sized expansions that are dedicated to cars in between the big expansion releases. So that's what I would like to see, and weapons, because you can really get into those type of things, you know, customize them. There's a lot they could do gameplay-wise, even down the road to those type of additions to the game. All right, there it is, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. A new Cyberpunk update for you all. But yeah, it's cool to see that CD Projekt RED is pretty much doubling down on the talent for Cyberpunk specifically, you know. They are really going after this game. At least it seems like it from their job listings. I really hope it pans out to be something that works out for everyone, us, and of course CD Projekt RED. I would love to see the studio recover. That would be cool. And of course, us get some really amazing expansions and additions to the game that really make it into what was promised. We'll see. I'll keep you guys in the know about that, but thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned for more Cyberpunk and open world gaming goodness, and I will see you all next time. Take care.